A new Parshas Tetzaveh. The word Tetzaveh literally means command. Tetzaveh, tzivui, commandment. As the opening verse of our Parsha reads, Ve'ato Tetzaveh, and you shall command the children of Israel that they should bring to you pure olive oil. However, Tetzaveh is also a derivative of the word tzavso. What is tzavso? You know the word tzvas in Hebrew. Tzvas is pliers, right? Because you have to have two in order to have the pliers. One side of the pliers is not the tzvas.
Not going to catch anything.
Right. So what is a tzvas? It's something that connects things together. So tzivu is also the same loshon. Tetzaveh is the same loshon as tzavto, putting things together. So tzavso meaning connection. According to this translation, the pasuk would read, and you should connect the Jewish people. It says ve'ato tetzaveh bnei Yisrael. If tzavso or tetzaveh means connection, so it says, and you shall connect the Jewish people. According to that interpretation, that would be the meaning of the verse. This hints to the fact that Moshe connects the Jewish people with Hashem. Hashem tells Moshe Rabbeinu, V'ato tetzaveh, the connection of the Jewish people with me comes through you.
Very nice.
So now, when he succeeds in this task, Moshe is successful connecting the Jewish people with Hashem, Moshe becomes spiritually strengthened. He himself becomes strengthened because of it. Fulfilling his own mission of connecting us with Hashem, he becomes strengthened. As a true leader, as a true Jewish leader, his entire essence and being is bound up with his people. A true leader is connected to the people. Not like Louis that said, what was it, Louis the 14th, they asked him, the soldiers don't have bread to eat. So he said, so give them cakes.
That was Marie Antoinette.
That was Marie Antoinette.
Marie Antoinette,
Yeah.
Okay. So what does it mean?
The point is good anyway.
The point, what was the point? That she's not connected with the people, right? She's so detached from reality that if she doesn't understand when you say there's no bread, obviously there's no cakes. Cakes is the first thing to go. If there's no bread, meaning that they're out for nothing. There's nothing there. So what is a true Jewish leader? His entire essence and being is bound up with the people. So that when the people increase their connection with God, it makes Moshe stronger. His connection is stronger. He is strengthened. This is hinted at the end of the pasuk. What does it say? The pasuk says, "Ve'ato tetzaveh bnei Yisrael, they should bring to you." And my v'yikru lecho shemen zayis zoch. They shall bring to you pure olive oil. When Moshe connects the Jewish people to God, Moshe's own spiritual light grows stronger. The pasuk continues, Kosis lamoyer, the pasuk says, crushed for the luminary, or crushed for lighting. When the Jewish people are crushed in exile, there are kosis, where in exile Jewish people were crushed. There's always a Jewish leader of the caliber of Moshe to be found. There's always Moshe shebedoiroi, like Mordechai in his time. As the Zohar says, the extension of Moshe in every generation. Ispashtusa the Moshe bechol dara v'dara. That's what the Zohar says. There's extension on offshoots of Moshe Rabbeinu in every generation. This leader can take a people who are spiritually crushed and transform them to be ready for lighting, spiritually awake and illuminated. Then the Jewish people can reach the level indicated by the end of the verse to ignite the lamp until it burns continually. Right? Aaron's needed to light them until it shines on its own, until it gives light by itself. That they become spiritually self-sufficient to the extent that they no longer rely on the leader and they can burn continually without his direct input. Such degree that we become independent, meaning we can even light other people. We can be lamplighters to others. We're not dependent anymore on the leader. So v'ata tetzaveh es bnei Yisrael v'ikchu lecho shemen zay zoch kostis lamoyer la'alis ner tomid. Rashi tells us what is this commandment that we should obtain for you, that the children of Israel should obtain for you clear olive oils, specially pressed for lighting, with which to light up the lamp regularly. So Rashi says, bli shmorim, without sediments. We have learned in Menashe, the Gemara in Menashe says he lets the olives at the top of the tree because they have the optimum ripeness, they're the best, and that's the olive that they use. Rashi tells us, tipa rishoyna, only the first drop he would use for the menorah, and the rest of it would go for Menashe, for the offerings, for the meal offerings. La'alis ner tomid, then to light up the lamp regularly, madlik, and that's where Rashi says to make rise is used here to indicate he is to kindle it until the flame rises by itself. It's not dependent anymore on the source from the outside. Tomid kol laila v'laila, when we say the word tomid continuously, it's referring to the night. Rashi tells us kol laila v'laila kol tomid. The night is termed tomid. מאוהל מועד מחוץ לפורחס אשר לא עידו שיער חויסוי ארין ובנו מאיר עד בוקר לפני דיני חוקס אילום לדורויסו מאס בני ישראל. So it says Aaron or his sons, Elazar, his son, shall set up the lamp in the tent of meeting outside the partition that is next to the ark of the testimony. We know that in Kodesh HaKadoshim there was the ark. In the ark there was the Luchis and the Sefer Torah and the man, and outside that room, outside of the Holy of Holies, we had another room in the sanctuary, which was called Kodesh. In that room, we had the shulchan, the table, the menorah, and the mizbeach, the golden mizbeach. So that's where it says that's where you should set it up. Aaron or his sons shall set up the lamp in the tent of meeting outside the partition that is next to the ark, the partition which contained the ark, so that it burns from evening until morning before the eternal. It is an everlasting statue for the generations to obtain the oil from the children of Israel. Rashi says, what is me'erev ad boker, from evening until morning? Put it in an amount of oil. He has to place an amount of oil so that it burns from the evening until the morning. The Gemara in Menashe says how much oil he needed to put in order for it to stay from evening to morning. So it says the amount of half a log. How much is half a log? So we learned earlier, half a log was 3 eggs. 6 eggs is full log. Half a log is 3 eggs. Mizrahi, one of the commentators on the Torah writes, points out that not only the amount of oil determined for how long the lights would burn, but also the thickness of the wicks. Obviously, the thicker they are, the more they would consume, right? And if the wicks were very thick, even a whole log would not be sufficient. And if they were thin, even less than half a log would be enough. He therefore explains that we must say that the wicks holders were of a fixed size, which allowed only for a certain size of wick, and according to this size, the wick of our sages measured the required amount of oil. Gur Aryeh, however, answered that only a certain size of wick, not too thick and not too thin, gave the maximum light, and according to this size wick, our sages measured the required amount of oil. So they had a normal size of wick.
It's not a very precise, the size of the wick, it's not a precise measure. Did they have it exactly the same every time?
They said that the wicks that were used, where did they get the wick? Where did it come from? It came from the gatkes of the Kohanim.
Really?
Yeah, so if on all the clothes that was not used anymore, so they use that for the wicks. So it's very hard. No, because it's tashmish of kedusha. Garments of Kohanim is holy. So the thing is, it's the point that you're saying, because it's a little bit hard to get to the exact measure of the wick to make it fix. But half a log was three eggs, and that usually what was sufficient for it to be lit from evening till morning. Okay? Now Hashem is telling Moshe Rabbeinu, you should draw your brother Aaron to you closer. Aaron and his sons, mitoch bnei Yisrael, among the Jewish people, to be my priest. Aaron Nadav Avihu, the 4 sons of Aaron, Nadav Avihu, Elazar v'Yisrael bnei Aaron. Later we'll see that Nadav and Avihu passed away. V'osiso big the kodesh. So Hashem is telling Moshe Rabbeinu, once you complete the malacha, the construction of the dwelling of the Mishkan, then you should bring Aaron and his children. To do what? So first of all, you have to make sacred garments for your brother Aaron for his honor and splendor. And then you should speak to the engineers. You shall speak to all the wise-hearted people whose hearts I have filled with the spirit of wisdom, that they shall make Aaron's garments to sanctify him as a priest for me. So it wasn't simple. You needed to have wise-hearted people to make these garments. So to do what? Why did he need these garments? So Rashi tells us, like kacher lechanei li, which means to sanctify him, to act as a priest for me. La'achnisoi bekeuna l'dab godim. He entered his priesthood through the garments. Mm-hmm. So that's why it seems like you need the wise-hearted people to create these garments. The garments, so to speak, change his status from being a regular person to being a Kohen. Mm-hmm. Now these are the garments. We know in general that a regular Kohen had 4 garments and a Kohen Gadol had 8 garments. Okay? Torah tells what are the bgodim, what are the garments Asher Yasu that they needed to make. Choishin ve'efoid umeil uchoseines tashbetz mitznefes ve'avnet ve'osu v'yigdekesh la'aron achicho u'levonov lechanei li. These are the garments that they shall make: a breastplate, an ephod. We'll soon see what was this ephod, this apron, a robe, a shirt woven with indentations, a domed hat, and belt. They shall make sacred garments for Aaron your brother and for his sons to act as a priest for me. So Rashi tells us what are these garments, and it's very interesting where Rashi learned what ephod, what ephod means. So Rashi tells us Choshen is the adornment worn against the heart, right, with the 12 stones and the settings. And now ephod, Rashi said, I've not heard nor found in a Braisa description of its form, meaning I don't know what it is. My own opinion, Rashi says, usually Rashi is relying on the Braisa and the Gemara and Talmud and different sources, but over here Rashi says, I don't know what it is. So he writes, my own opinion is that it was girded on him from behind, its width being as wide as a person's back, like a type of apron which is called in Old French pourcent. The noble woman wear, and what the noble women would wear when they ride on horseback. So Rashi
is a very strange term there.
Right.
Velibi, I think, if I remember right.
It says Velibi Omerli. He says, my own opinion is.
No, Velibi means in my heart.
Right.
What was he saying? Rashi never looked at women.
Right.
I saw this woman.
I was about to say.
Oh, you were going to say.
I was about to say it because.
Didn't mean to interfere.
No, it's okay, because Rashi was saying, why am I seeing this noble woman riding a horse? He said there has to be
a reason for it.
It has to be a reason. Rashi is not the type that would look to see women. So if he noticed it, he said it has to be a reason why I'm seeing her. And what was the reason? So he saw that she was wearing an ephod. Now he understood what the ephod is. what is this special apron that the Kohen's garments needed to be. So tzaddikim, everything they see, it's for Avodas Hashem. It's for how to... Yeah. So, and then we have umeil. What is the me'il? Rashi said this is a type of a robe, and it's so the kutenis, except that the kutenis is worn close to the skin. And the me'il is what the outer robe is called. Tashbetz, what is tashbetz? So he writes, means it was made with mishbetzois, with decorations. Mitznefes, it was the dome hat. Kemin kippas koiva. And ve'avnet was the belt over the shirt. And the ephod acted as a belt over the robe. So there's many places where you can find and see the pictures of it, images. Sometimes they put it in the chayenu, in the back, and see if this time they put it in. Yeah, so here's the choishen. You can see it in page 65, if anybody is interested in looking at the diagrams. The choishen, the breastplate, this is how it looked. And then you see over here how it attached the shoulder straps. How it looked like the ephod. This is the ephod, so just the back part, right? Mainly the big part was in the back, and it had two strings that connected to the front. And then you have here's how the ephod looked. And then over here they also bring a picture of Mizbach HaKteres. That's where the incense altar, where all the golden Mizbeach, the golden altar. And you have over here what is called the tzitz, the head plate, what they would wear on the head. So you can see all these pictures on page 65 and on. And this is how we look to Kohen Gadol, the ones wearing all these garments.
Must have been heavy.
Yes. Yeah.
Sure it was. The belt alone was like, how many yards? It was supposed to be very long.
Yeah. But also,
made so that he couldn't put his, whenever he put his hand down, he would feel it. So.
Yeah. ועשו סעיפות זוב תחילס, והם יקחו את הזוב, ואת התחילס, את הארגומס, תלת שני ושש, and they shall take the gold and the aquamarine, purple and scarlet wool, and the linen, and they shall make the ephod of gold, thread, aquamarine, purple, verses of zov, tcheles v'agomon, telas shoni v'shesh mozo ma'aseh choshev, and they shall make the ephod of gold thread, aquamarine purple, and scarlet wool thread, and twined linen. There's tremendous amount of commentary on it, explaining exactly what it is. We know that according to Kabbalah, each one represented a different tikkun, a different rectification. Two shoulder straps as on its two ends, attached by the sewing. Again, you can see it in page 65. Zov, tcheles v'agomon v'sulah shoni v'sheish moshe zor. And the belt, which is above the ephod, which is for its adornment, for its beautification, shall be made as the piece with the ephod by the same method, with gold thread, aquamarine, purple and scarlet wool thread, and twined linen. V'lokachtos shavnei shoyam. There's two stones called shoyam that they were placed on the shoulders of the Kohen. And on these stones, you had 6 names on each side were engraved on each of these stones. Besides all the names that were on the breastplate, you also had on the shoulders, Avnei Shoyam. What is Avnei Shoyam? You shall take the 2 shoyam stones and engrave them, and engrave the names of Israel's sons on them. So Rashi says, there's no Rashi on this one. Rashi doesn't tell us what is exactly the Avnei Shoyam. Type of gemstones.
I think it's onyx.
Possibly. See if any of the commentary would say what is the Avnei Shoyam. No. Nachlas Yaakov, Tzedel Aderech and Gu Aryeh, different commentators, as ask that that the way Rashi explains that the order which the names were written does not follow any of the opinions quoted in the Gemara. Tzedel Aderech. Okay, so Rashi only speaks about discussing the order of the names. So because on the Choshen it was not Reuben, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, Yisachar, Zvulun, and Gad, Asher, Dan, Naphtali, Yosef, Binyamin. It was a different setup, different opinions how it was done. So ולקחת שתי אבני שם, פיתחתם של בני ישראל, 68 על אבן האחס, ו-18 שני סורים, על אבן השני כסולדויסם. מעשה חורש אבן, פיתוחי חויסם תפתח שתי אבנים, על שמי בני ישראל מוסבש משבץ לזוב תעשה יסם. It says, you shall engrave the two stones with the names of Israel's sons, with signet ring type engraving, as done by jewel engraver. You shall make them encased in gold settings. So there was the casing, and inside it was the Evan Shoyam, the stone, Shoyam stone. Rashi says means the work of an artisan of precious stones. This word chorash is directly connected to the following word and is therefore punctuated with a patach, chorash. Similarly, we find chorash eitzim, an artisan of wood. So pituche choisom, Uncles translate what is pisuche choisom, what does it mean? Distinct writing like the engraving of signet ring. The letters were etched into the stones, just like one etches the seals of ring, which are the sealing for the sealing letters, a clear and distinct form of writing. ושמתו את שתי האבונים על כספוס האפוד אבני זיכורן לבני ישראל ונוס אהרון לשמו יוסף נענו שתי כסף וזיכורן. Why did we need these stones? The Torah tells us, you shall place the two stones on the shoulder straps of the ephod as remembrance stones for the children of Israel, and Aaron shall carry their names on his shoulders as a reminder before the Eternal. Rashi says, surrounding settings means the precious stones were encased in gold settings, that he makes the mounting of the stones as an indentation in the gold according to the size of the stones, and he embeds it into the settings, thus surrounding the stone on all sides. He then attaches the settings to the shoulder pieces of the ephod. What is the zikon? What is the reminder? It says that the Holy One, source of blessing, should see the names of the tribes written before him and remember their righteousness. That was the purpose of placing the names on the stones on the shoulders of the Kohen. We have a few more minutes. What time? I'll just say something over here interesting. I saw 164, and how we always have to connect it to Geula, right? You want Mashiach to connect it to Geula. What does that have to do with Geula? So it says, and you shall command the children of Israel, and they shall take to you pure olive oil, crushed for lighting, to kindle the lamps continually. That's the opening verse in the Pasha. 2 more minutes, I'm done. So the Torah implies that we will kindle the menorah in the Beis HaMikdash continually. But it has been many centuries since those lamps were last lit. However, the pasuk begins with the word ve'ato, and you, which bears the numerical value of 412. Why? Taf is 400, Hey is 5, and Aleph is 6, so we have 406, and Vav is...
Aleph.
Aleph is 1, Vav is 6, Taf is 400, and Hey is 5. Together it's 400, equal to the word base or bais. Bais is also 412. So Ve'ato and bais is the same thing. Avram referred to the Beis Hamikdash. What did Avram say? Haramoirio. He referred to the Beis Hamikdash, to the temple, as a mountain. Yitzchak called it a field. Yitzchak roi sode. Yitzchak called the Beis Hamikdash a sode. Vayetze Yitzchak lasuach basode. Yitzchak went out to the field. But Yaakov described it as a house. He said, Beis Elokim. I will call it a bais. What's the difference between mountain, field, and a bais? Bais is a permanent dwelling. So Yaakov described it as a house, permanent structure, because the third Beis Hamikdash will correspond to Yaakov. The first Beis Hamikdash corresponded to Avraham, second to Yitzchak. The third one will correspond to Yaakov. It will be an everlasting Beis Hamikdash, an everlasting dwelling, everlasting edifice. This pasuk informs us that specifically in the Bais, the third Beis Hamikdash, we will kindle the menorah continually. Ve'ato is connected to Bais, which connected to that it's going to be continuous, without interruption for all of time. Welcome to you. Welcome to you.